We all buy into so many lies when it comes to this work, or even the world. We buy into lies, for example, thinking that one day we'll have everything figured out. Anyone here have everything figured out? Just me? Okay. Anyone ever self-attack over this? I feel so lost, everything's still chaotic and a mess, my ducks are not in a row. Yes? No? Yeah. Well, guess what? You are forever going to feel this way. Let it land. There's never going to be a point in life where you will have everything figured out. There's never going to be a point in life where everything will be perfect. The same with letting go. There's never going to be a point in life where you've let go of everything. And you do really have to accept this. Thinking that there is a point where that'll finally happen is going against nature. It's no different than me thinking that there's going to be a point where I can jump up and fly, and then I self-attack over it. If you're self-attacking right now over not having everything figured out, it's the same as me self-attacking over the fact that I cannot fly. Imagine I came to you, you're the coach. I'm like, my biggest sticking point is I just can't fly. I hate myself so much because I can't fly. Look, stupid, I suck, I'm a pathetic human being. You'd be like, you're insane. The same with having things figured out. Life is messy. We are messy. No one has everything figured out. I don't have everything figured out. Even, by the way, for any of you who are entrepreneurs in business, you do realize on the back end of a business, it's messy too. There's a lot of chaos. That's every business. Every business is messy and chaos. That's part of life. Same with you. Even zooming out too, have any of us figured out even what life is? I don't know what life is. Now, maybe some of you are like, well, yes, Jesus, etc. And maybe. There's many theories, but no one knows for sure. None of us know. None of us know why we're here, what even here is. We don't even know what the universe is. We know nothing. None of us know anything. And as I talked about before too, with the pendulum swing, world of duality, everything's changing. There's no static points where everything's finally perfect. And if you were to say achieve that in your mind where everything's perfect, the second after, things will crumble. And that's also part of life. Ups and downs. If you're going through a great time right now in life, bad times are coming. That's a guarantee. Now on the flip side, if you're going through a bad time right now, guess what? Good times are coming. That's also a guarantee. Nothing's permanent. There's crazy ups and downs. The same with this type of work. It's never over. Ever. You could forever improve. You could forever work on yourself. Even if you're like, I have a healthy relationship with me, great, but it could always be better. And this is where you must accept this and change your relationship with the work. And be more kind with yourself. Take the pressure off. It's okay. The goal is not to get there. Let go of this illusion. Otherwise, again, it's an unfair reason to start self-attacking. I tell this to my clients too with letting go. Sometimes someone will finish a meditation. They're like, there's still more to let go of. I'm like, that's okay. That can wait till tomorrow. You don't have to do it all at once. And we tend to be in this crazy hurry in life in this. And it's also serious and heavy, right? For most people, their existence alive is like one of those Saw movies. You see it? Where it's like it's like the traps and it's scary and you're watching the whole movie. You're like, oh my God, the eyes are coming out. Oh, like that. The stakes are high. That's how we live it. If I don't succeed, the eyes come out. Oh no. If I don't say hi to this person, my other eye will come out. Oh no. No. Relax a bit. Yes, it's serious work. It's important work. But the approach, the attitude is no. Let's roll with this. And remember that the goal isn't to be perfect. It's to enhance the quality of your life. And you don't have to be perfect to enhance the quality of your life. You don't have to let go of everything. I'm still letting go of things. I'm not perfect either. I still get triggered. Now, way less than before, but I still do. I still get mad. I still spiral. For real, I'm not perfect at all. I was actually spiraling earlier today. It happens. For real. Before this seminar, I wasn't in a jolly good mood. I was underslept because I spoke last night, flew here this morning, and I got news, medical news, where maybe some of you are like, well, it's a good reason to spiral. I'm not spiraling anymore. But I got medical news that I have like a few neck nodules. You can look it up. And one is somewhat big, and it might be cancerous. Now, Hope it's not. Knock on wood, dead tomorrow. But I started spiraling, oh my God, if it's cancer, oh my God, what if it's stage 4? We don't know if it's stage 4. And kept thinking, oh, my daughters, and what am I going to do? Oh, like that, just spiraling out of control. I still fall into it. Then I know immediately how to ground myself. Now, do you also want to know 2 tips to get out of it? Would I actually apply today? Number 1, which I teach my clients, is deep breaths from the base of your spine. Number 1 thing, it's get out of the head. Like I said, I'll still have exceptional moments like today, get in my head and start spiraling. And what does your head do? As we talked about before, it creates the story. What are the facts? Could totally be benign, could be nothing. A lot of people have neck nodules. But in my mind, I'm like, what if, and then the future, and I start projecting myself in the future too. How are my daughters ever going to survive without me? Whoa, slow it down. You don't know that. Don't let your mind spiral. And the easiest way is to bring your awareness to the base of your spine and just start taking some deep breaths. Super simple, but very effective. And the other one is gratitude, the cheesiest thing ever. But say that were true. Okay, you have X amount of time to live. Instead of freaking out, oh no, but what if? It's like, well, hey, can I be grateful for the time I had? Can I be grateful that even in this moment I'm alive? For real. We all had this one experience. And all of us are grateful for it, or we wouldn't be here. Let this land too. No matter how hard life has been, no matter how hard the challenges you have gone through have been, you still think life is worth it because you are alive here today. If you thought it wasn't worth it, you wouldn't be alive. You would have ended it. So part of you thinks it's still worth it. Let's keep rolling with it. A part of you is still grateful for the shot, for the opportunity. And here's the other thing, and I remind myself of this in really dark times. It's that, hey, yes, life can be hard, but it's also in a way very short, and you have all of eternity to be dead. So might as well milk it. It's dark, but I went through crazy dark times. This is by no means my darkest. I went through way darker times, and I remind myself of that. I'm like, look, you have all of eternity to be dead. What are you doing? Milk it. Yeah, it's hard and stuff, but hey, you have this opportunity to experience it. When you're dead, you don't. It's like playing, again, a video game. That would probably be the closest thing to my philosophy of life, is comparing life to a video game. You want the crazy adventure. You want the risks. You want the contrast. Otherwise, it'd be boring, right? We all want life to be perfect and easy, but that's like wishing you could play a video game on God mode. Like no matter what you do, you win. It's like, bop, bop, headshot, headshot, headshot. How boring is that? Now, if you're someone who's always used to losing, it's like, I keep missing. I just want the God mode. Yeah, it can be tempting, but after a couple minutes, it'll be very boring. You don't want that. Even if you take the whole spiritual approach, right? You could argue it's like, we are the infinite, we are abundance, we are XYZ, we are God, we are the universe. And we come into this world, again, from the infinite, we come into the finite. But there's also a beauty in the finite. Meaning you could experience things that that it adds a certain depth that you could experience otherwise. The example I always give is if you take your favorite food, whatever that is, think about it, and say right now life has said, this is the last time you're ever going to eat that. Here it is. Last time you'll ever eat this. Are you going to savor every bite? Are you going to really take it in? Yeah. What if life came and said, hey, you're going to eat this every day, you can have as much of it as you want till you die? You'd be like, nah. It'll be a much more of a surface experience than the depth. Same with life. You have X amount of time alive. It forces us to add the depth to the experience, to milk it, and to be grateful for it. For real. And this is also where you got to audit, even those hard times, and this is where letting go comes into play. There's a certain gratitude in them. There are lessons from it. There are lessons, it's a cheesy saying, but a true one. There are lessons that failure teaches you that success cannot. And if you aren't willing to fail, if you aren't willing to venture in to some of those dark places, you will not get those lessons. And even beyond that, that's adversity too. And sometimes those hard times aren't actually that bad. In the long run, they are good for us. But they just don't align with our plan that we have for our life. Let this land. That's adversity, by the way. It's when things don't go according to your plan. All of us were like, here's where I am, here's where I want to go. If I go here, that's good. And a life crisis or adversity is life saying, here's a wall. Nope, you cannot go there. And And what do? We throw a tantrum, just like a little kid. What is this wall? What is adversity? It's no different than a kid, say growing up, you're young and maybe you're eating mac and cheese and chicken nuggets and ice cream. And in your kid mind, that's the best plan for you. You're like, I just want to eat this till the day I die, every day, tons of it. And then what does your parent do? Enough with the mac and cheese, here's some broccoli. That's life. Eat your broccoli. What does the kid do? No, not the broccoli. Yet in the long run, you're like, hey, thanks for making me eat my vegetables. That's a lot of adversity, those hard times. Looking back, you're like, hey, thanks. For example, a breakup. How often do you hear, oh my God, the breakup didn't work, and then you're like, thank God I broke up with that person, I met someone so much better. Same with losing a job, then you get a better job. Bad things happen, and oftentimes it disrupts the status quo. It disrupts your comfort zone. Something that you probably wouldn't have disrupted without life doing it for you. Think of it as life's helping hand, but you just don't see how it's helping you yet. It's also where there's that saying, blessings come in disguise. Hey, you want the blessing? You got to first let it come to you in disguise. Most people aren't willing to do that. Let it come in the form of adversity and get the blessing after that. But then you have to also be open to getting the lesson. And you have to be committed to getting better, not bitter. With any hard thing that's thrown your way, any challenge, it's a simple mantra, but I still carry it myself to this day, get better, not bitter. Better, not bitter. You'll see a lot of people get bitter and they'll loop on it, or they'll make it part of their identity. They'll hold on to it and carry it on as this excuse or this badge of honor. Well, look at this. In any conversation, they'll steer back to that thing that happened to them that was so unfair and so hard. Don't be that. They'll use it as justification to play small and not pursue their dreams. Well, I would, but this one thing that happened to me. No. Get better and realize it doesn't matter how terrible, horrible, traumatic your life was, it does not give you the right to play small and hold back from your dreams. It doesn't matter how bad it was. It does not give you the right. So, zooming back to my point here, life's messy. People are messy. Things change. Impermanence. The fact that we are also alive is a miracle at this point. We're beating the odds. And don't forget that in this work. Don't get too myopic. And don't be so hard on yourself. Stop living in this Saw-like movie. Shift it to a fun, jolly comedy. There's challenges in comedy movies, but the theme is you're viewing it through the comedy lens versus the horror lens. Shift your life that way. It's not a tragedy, it's a comedy. Isn't that from the Joker? Or did he say it's a comedy and tragedy or something like that? I like it. Make your life a comedy. Laugh at yourself more too. And embrace the hero's journey. Meaning we're also in a rush to get there, to make it, to be successful, to accomplish this. Why are you in such a rush? Realize the more you're in the rush to get somewhere, what are you ultimately doing? You're rushing towards death. For real, you're like, just get me there. Back to life being a video game, that's like someone trying to rush through the game as fast as possible. Skipping all the cutscenes. Skip. And then it's done, you're like, oh, it's already done. Don't live life that way. Embrace it. And in terms of your fulfillment, more doesn't increase fulfillment. Let this land. When it comes to coaching, for example, if you aren't fulfilled coaching one person, having hundreds of people is not going to make it better. For real. More doesn't increase fulfillment. And you'll look back at these earlier days too, and you'll miss them at times. I miss the earlier days. I miss the days where I was like homeless for a bit. I miss the days where I was broke. I miss sometimes even the hard challenges, the worst moments of my life. If I had like a time machine, I wouldn't want to stay there, but I'm like, let me go back for a day just to experience the texture, the feeling of it. You miss it. You look back on it. So remember even now, it's like, oh, but I want to get there. It's like, no, milk the hero's journey. Read that book too, by the way, Joseph Campbell. And watch Star Wars. Think of your life as the Star Wars movie, heavily based off that book. If you're at the beginning of your journey and there's a lot to learn, well, you're like Luke Skywalker leaving in the desert of Tatooine. Oh, you're going through hard times right now? Things aren't fun? Oh, you're sad right now? You're Luke Skywalker getting his hand cut off. Funny enough, that's the best movie. You should be enjoying it. You're like, yes, my hand's getting cut off right now. Milk it. Oh, things are going great after you're in the last one. Great. Was it Return of the Jedi? Embrace every step. And ultimately, you should look back at your life that way. Hey, here's this crazy adventure, this crazy movie. And there should also be no regrets. No regrets around the past. Like I said before, with myself spiraling earlier, anything I thought about regret-wise was future to come, but not around the past. Nothing I changed in the past. One thing that also really ran me earlier on is I had massive fear of the future. I always did. I had fear of the future. I'm like, how am I going to deal with this? What if this happens? How am I going to deal with that? So on and so forth. And what you realize is that if that's you and there's fear around the future, the reason there's fear around the future is because you are projecting current you too far ahead in time. Meaning that current you may not be equipped to deal with it. And that's okay. Current you may not have the knowledge, the strength, the perspective, whatever it is, to deal with it. But current you is not going to be dealing with that. Future you is. And that's going to be a very different you. And the further you project yourself in the future, the scarier it is. But keep that in mind. Hey, in a way, it's another way of saying, that's a problem for future me. But it is. Future will be very different. And in your life, you've always been able to deal with the present moment. Right now, you're alive. You've dealt with the present moment your entire life. You have a 100% success rate. What makes you think that's going to stop? You've crushed it. Every present moment, freeze frame time, you crushed it. You've dealt with it. Future you will too. Remind yourself of that. And as I talked about earlier, even if everything goes downhill, you still got you. And that is enough. And if it doesn't feel like enough, then inner work and letting go needs to be done.